How good are Moncler fragrances? So Moncler is a brand that has always caught my interest because I just do think that it is a very up-class luxury brand, especially designer house. But when it came to fragrances, when I knew that they were in the market, I was very much interested straight away. I first found out when they basically promoted this particular fragrance, Moncler Pour Homme, on Instagram, which is of course their first ever fragrance, which they released on top of with Moncler Pour Femme as well. And in all honesty, the bottle design is what definitely won me over, which I know is a gimmick, and of course bottle designs mean absolutely nothing in the fragrance world. But I am a sucker for nice shiny things, so of course I did buy this particular fragrance. And I was impressed by the brand, which is why I then bought Moncler Pour Homme Sunrise. So I want to compare in this video just how good are Moncler fragrances overall. Should you really take them seriously? Is it just a gimmick with the bottle design? Or are they actually good fragrances? Let's find out in this review. So starting off with the original one which I bought initially, which is of course Moncler Pour Homme. Of course, with this crazy bottle design, in the bigger model, what you get is this LED display. And that is definitely what gave this fragrance a huge name. Obviously Moncler making fragrances is already kind of a big thing in the fragrance world, but adding this to it, which is really innovative, it's very unique. I actually kind of commend Moncler for this. They didn't have to do this because there was already hype for those fragrances, but I just really love that they actually did go away and design something like this, which you can customize and put your own text on using the app, which actually does work quite well. It's all paired via Bluetooth, and which is kind of crazy for this fragrance is on the back is a charging port for the bottle, which I just think is so funny for a fragrance to have a charging port. And one cool thing about this big size is that it is a refillable bottle. So if you just press these two buttons on the bottom, you do kind of release the LED function kind of charging thing, and this is the fragrance that you can obviously refill. The logo itself is the button, and I just love seeing Moncler on a fragrance. I just think it is just such a cool thing to have. So once again, you know I'm a sucker for nice shiny things. I just had to buy this. Its overall bottle is kind of in the design of their famous jackets. You know, those puffer jackets that you see roadmen wearing, which are probably fake. You have this rib design on the bottom of the base, as well as the cap itself. And as for the atomizer, about average I would say. It's fine. I would have hopefully expected a bit more for a fragrance of this size as well as this price. As for the notes of this fragrance, at the top we've got an Alpine Green Accord, which was made specifically for Moncler. At the heart, we've got pine and cedarwood, and at the base, we've got vetiver, amber, and musk. So this fragrance is definitely very outdoorsy, which you will obviously understand from those fragrance notes. It's green, it's fresh, it's slightly earthy, but it's definitely more so on the fresh side of those particular notes. I love vetiver in basically any fragrance, so seeing it in this particular bottle is amazing. It adds a tiny bit of depth. It doesn't have as much presence as I would like vetiver to have, but it definitely adds an interesting element to this fragrance. And overall, I think it's a good scent. It's well made. Is it worth the price? For a big bottle like this, probably not. The reason you're paying so much for this big bottle is for this LED thing. So if you are going to buy this fragrance and you're interested in the scent, go for the smaller sizes. I think the price definitely justifies the scent in that case. And also the performance. Performance has been pretty good in my experience with this fragrance. It's got good longevity, good projection. It's inoffensive smelling, so I do like to wear this one to the office, especially when it is a warmer day, so definitely during summers. This is a kind of a great pick for that, because once again, it's inoffensive, it's fresh, it's earthy. It does smell good. I wouldn't say sexy, because obviously when it comes to sexy notes, you want like incense, you want something dark, ambery and sweet, and maybe with a bit of pepper, but this doesn't smell bad. You will get compliments when you wear this fragrance, and some people, for their particular noses, might find this one sexy. But like I said, if you're gonna buy this fragrance for the bottle design, you just wanna have it on your wall or on your shelf, then of course, go for it. Get the big size if you can. You can put your own kind of notes on here if you wanna use it for YouTube, like I'm gonna be doing, put it on the back to say subscribe, and it will be amazing for that. But you can definitely wear this fragrance. It is very wearable, it's usable, it's good. It's good value in the smaller bottle designs. And when it comes to an initial launch, I think it's quite a successful fragrance from Moncler. And that's why I looked into Moncler Pour Homme Sunrise, which I actually tested in stores. I was quite impressed with the scent, but I went away with Mont Blanc Legend Blue instead. And this is always in the back of my mind as something that I need to buy next. I was quite impressed by the smell of it, and I wanted to add it to my collection to put it next to, of course, this particular fragrance. Now this particular fragrance doesn't come with the LED kind of display, so buying it in a bigger bottle design didn't really make sense to me, which is why I went for this smaller bottle. And I do think it still looks good side by side. With this one, of course, you do have a darker kind of shiny gunmetal kind of finish, which I do think is very sexy, and it does make the logo kind of stand out a bit more. In this case, the logo is not a button because there's nothing to actually activate, and there's of course no charging port on the back, and of course with this size, there is no refillable bottle. You can't open it and then obviously take it to stores to refill. What you get is basically what you see. In this particular case, the sprayer itself is, I'd say, almost better. Maybe my bottle is different, but the sprayer seems a lot better. It's like a nice long burst, and I think it kind of feels better as well. So that's something interesting to see, but it's the smell and performance of this fragrance that blew me away. This is the one to get if you are at all interested in Moncler. This one just smells so sexy, so incredible, and this has been in daily rotation for my collection. I've got so many fragrances, but after buying this one, it's just such an easy dumb reach for me because it is just so sexy, it's so professional, it's so casual, it's such a good date night scent, clubbing scent, it's basically everything in a bottle. And the reason why I say that is because this has a very similar vibe to Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum. They're not the same fragrance, they don't smell exactly the same, but they're the same direction in the sense that they are fresh, they have some nice warm notes to them as well in the dry down, and they can be worn in the same exact scenarios. So the notes of this fragrance are, at the top you've got Italian bergamot, lemon, and frosted pink berries. At the heart you've got a suede accord, clary sage makes a return, and Indonesian nutmeg. And at the base you've got vetiver, patchouli, and incense. So with those notes you have those bergamots and citruses in the opening, and a dry down when it comes to incense. Like I said, it's kind of like Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum. And looking at both fragrances, I have no problem picking either of them, to be honest. And I think this fragrance is actually cheaper than Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum. So if you're looking for an alternative to that fragrance, maybe save a bit of money each month, this is a great alternative for that. So as you know, I'm a huge fan of this particular fragrance, but overall Moncler has definitely impressed me, and I will definitely be looking more into their collection. So if I had to answer this question, how good are Moncler fragrances, I would say very, very good, and I would say pretty good for this one. I was worried when I first bought this fragrance that it was all going to be the bottle design and the smell would be kind of weak and nothing, because a lot of things luxury are a lot of things rip-off. But I'm very happy to say that I am definitely impressed with the brand. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you like Moncler? Have you tested either of these fragrances? Which one do you prefer? Do you hate the brand? Let me know in the comments down below. Like, subscribe, and I'll be catch you guys next time.